and inside print we can this is a print function where whatever you write inside these quotations, so that would be printed in the screen. So let me write hello world. And if you want to run this, you can click on runtime and run this cell. So one thing about this collab is like you can run just this cell, or maybe you can run the whole notebook from the beginning. So that is one advantage of using even notebook, any notebook like Jupyter Notebook or even Collab, any of these things. So you can see it has got printed over here. And let's say you want to store this hello world in one of a variable and then print that variable. So let me define a variable. A is one variable I am going to take, so where it is going to store the string hello world. So if you give it in a single quotes or a double quotes, it is string, and then you can write a program of print A. So there is also a shortcut instead of going there and running it. So instead of going there and run this focus cell, you can use this shortcut Control Enter, which is going to run only this, just this cell. You can see it from here that it is running only this. See, we again got this hello world over here. So but basically here what we are doing is we are defining a string and storing it in a variable A, but we don't have to specify type of variable. It's an integer or a string or something. Python would automatically take it. Okay, so similarly, in case if you have two different strings, so A is hello and B is world. So and these are two different strings. You can use it again here, like print A, and you want to print, let's say I gave comma B. Let's see what it will do. It would still print here. So you can, if you give like print A, print B, and run it, so it would print in a different statement. Like if the print statement comes again, like it would print in a new line. But in case if you use comma B, so it's going to print side to that, like giving a space. Okay, so this is how we can do it, use print statement and even use concatenate, strings. So even let's say I want to print now integer, so same way we can reuse the same like a variable name. So let me give it 100 and then print A. So this is going to print again, so same way as expected. So now let's say I want to print integer string as well as integer combined. So print, okay, we used same variable both cases, right? So let me print A comma B. Okay, so here A actually have the value 100 and B actually have the value world, right? So if you can take from the previous cells, so it is going to retain that value. You can print, it is going to print execute only this, but the previous values will still be there. See, if you put comma and print, then it is going to be like this. So A is 100 and B is world. You can even print the combination of integers and strings just by giving comma in between. Okay, so this is one way. So this is about print statement. Coming here in the strings, so like let's say you have two strings again. So let me open Python programming. These are the two strings. Now if you want to join two strings and save it in other variable C, so let's see what this would do. So this is just like plus, like adding two numbers, just like we think like plus would add two numbers. Let's see what will happen with this Python. And if you observe, I am using like single quotes here and double quotes here, so it doesn't matter, like both cases it would be treated as a string. So see, it has joined both of these words, and but there is no space in between. So in case if you want to join with a space, what you can do is a plus, you can use space here and then plus b, and then let's see what is c coming. So like one more thing about collab is like if you here previously we are using this print, right? Only then we are seeing the output here. Even if you just put c in the end, so it is going to show the output here. I mean that is only for notebook, but in case if you want to do it in .py files, I mean in the Visual Studio Code, unless you click on like write print c, it is not going to show anything. So that is a difference between notebook and Visual Studio Code. So coming here, so if you see, like we have used a, which actually has this Python, and then space, and which has come here, and then b is programming. So this is how we can concatenate both strings. See the length of a string. So here let's say you have maybe like how many letters in it, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So there are 6 characters within your string. So let's see if there is a Python function to count it. Yes, there is actually. So that is called len. So instead of complete length, it's a short form len of a. If you click on it, so you are going to get like 6, so which is Python number of characters in string a. So let's say you want to, there is some d which was 100 again. So and you want to see the length of this, like how many numbers will we get it. So let's see. No, we got an error. So error is like, so this is a type error. And this is one more very important thing what we should learn while programming any languages, understand what is the error. So here it is saying it is a type error, and it has also shown like which part of code is having this error. So it is in line number 2, len of d. So means in this place like you got an error. And what is the error here? It's a type error. Object of type integer has no length. So it means to say the integer value doesn't have any length, because it's not a string or anything else, right? So because that doesn't have any length, it is a little absurd thing. So that's the reason it has given an error. But what it actually means is this length function doesn't take any integer inside it. So that is the main thing. And if you want to know, what you can do is take this last, I mean, because this is quite straightforward, we have introduced this error. But in case if any program, if you want to know like what is the error, you can even Google this part. Like usually we will get most of the error, like we will be getting some solution or the other in the Stack Overflow website. So you can see it is exactly available. So click on it, then see what it is. So here actually here you can see they have given a solution just like how we did. So length equal to 10 they did, and length of 10 you are using, so that is why we got an error. So these kind of solutions we would get, that is one boon for all the developers. Like we, most of the errors, like or even the complex errors, we would be getting solutions through the Stack Overflow. You should also see what is a type error here, right? So it's a type error. It means the type of the variable is not accepted. So that, and similarly we will be having other errors, so which I'll show you while in the further classes. So it is very important to know what type of error and where actually error comes and what is the error, okay, for debugging purpose. So now let's say we have d is 10, 100, right? And I want to combine, just like how we did string concatenation here by just like using plus. Similarly, as a is Python, I would like to use concatenate these two. So in some variable e, let's say, means can I use d plus e, d plus a, would it give error? Let's see. Yes, again we got an error. So it was saying that in the line e equal to d plus a, yeah, is the fourth line. So, and what it is saying is unsupported operand types integer and string. So operands in the sense for positive, so it is unsupported. I mean, like integer and string can't be used for this within this. I mean, we can't directly concatenate a integer and a string. So then how we should do it? So let's see. So what we can do is d is 100, and let me copy the same. To fix that, I'm just like leaving these for your reference in future, because you want to know like what is the error. So that's the reason I'm not editing in the same cell. I'm copying it again and doing it here. So here, if you want to resolve this error, here what we are doing is concatenating integer and a string. So in case if you, but what we know is, like previously we can concatenate string and a string, but integer and a string is not possible. So what we can do is convert this integer as a string and then we can use it, right? So it means, let me, this would work, right? So but we should not manually do it, edit it, so it should be done automatically. So for that reason I am going to convert this integer into a string by using a function str. So str is like whatever is there inside this arguments, so that is going to be converted into a string. And then if you and then immediately, just like this is a string now, so that would be just like how we had 100 and within the quotes. And then now a is anyway a string, so no, you can combine both and we get the concatenated string here. Okay, so this is about string. So there are many other like various applications again like within a string, and let's see one of them, and then like the rest of the things we can see it like in further sessions. While using, you will be knowing like what it is. Now if you want to search, there is a, which is like pi, okay, just py, nothing else in that. And then this is Python. Now if you want to know if this a, this py is within this b, is contained inside the b, it is actually there, right? So you can see py is here. So if you want to know a in b, you are getting true, you see that is an output. It is going to tell whether string a is inside b, so which is like a in b. So directly, just like if you want to search this, so this is very easy method, like that is why like Python is quite popular. So it gives these kind of things, makes these kind of things pretty easy. So let's try one more example. Okay, so will it give true or false? Why do you think it is true? We have T, H and N. So let me run and see. It is false. Why is it so? So let's see like why it is. So and now I am giving O here and then run it. It is true. So from this, so it should come continuously, like it should not be like few characters somewhere and few characters somewhere else. It should come continuously, like it should match, only then it would give true. Okay, yeah, thanks. Yeah, so this is how, I mean, like we can play with strings in Python. So and one more important thing I'm going to show you. So like in future, just like I have mentioned earlier, that we may be using like I mean, you take user input from maybe user input, or you can read files as well, right? So these are like popular use cases what we have mostly. So in that case, like, you need to know the file path, I mean the path of the file, right? So that is little tricky and is like little based on operating system as well. Let me show one example. In D drive, I am going to create a folder, let's say Python, and let me create one empty text file. It can be any, okay, and this is a path of this folder, right? And make it in a variable. One more thing, what I suggest, instead of giving variable names as a, b, in case if it is something significant, so it would be better if you give like variable names which is quite readable and you understand what it contains just by seeing the variable name. So I would give it like input file path. If you paste it, it would come like this, okay? And but what happens is, like, in case if your folder has some spaces in between, so that would create issue sometimes. So in that case, you should be just I'll tell you this difference. If you create, you see like it has come with double slashes. That's what even though you gave a single slash here, so this is where actually it becomes tricky. So one better thing is, and in case if you have spaces in between, so that would create a little issue. So I recommend you to use even if there are spaces, I try to avoid spaces if it is possible. But in case if you can't avoid it, I mean it's not within your hands, like to give the folder names under the folder location, in that case you have to use R in before, so which converts this string into a raw format, and it would handle what even inside if there are like any escape characters like slash n, that is for new line, and slash t, which is for tab. So even though if it is like that, it would still handle, and it will create I mean it would be of a format raw string. So let me click on it. It would still give you the same but it would handle in case if there are any, I mean let's show you that as well. Let me show you that. So in case I'll create a new folder which is of, keep that path, and see what it is giving. It has taken but you see here there are no two lines, instead there is only single line, and that you would know once you print it. That is better. You see the difference. Even if you print the previous one, it wouldn't give an issue. So you see the difference, like here it is not coming proper, like it should actually come like the same way with space, right? But because this slash n, and there are like few characters like slash n, there is like slash t, and a few others slashes and all. So this slash n means a new line, slash t is tab. So because of these kind of things, so it would create an issue in case if you are using a single quotations and then single slash here. So what it happened here, so it has treated this slash n as a new line, and it has printed in new line. I want to change it in put it in double quotes, and then put R before, run it. You see now it is coming in a single line. So in this case, if you put this R, it wouldn't treat this as a escape character like slash n slash t or something, so like a new line or new space or something. So that wouldn't treat it that way. So that is one very important thing to understand here. So this will be used like in future when we are reading some files. So this would is very critical thing. So because of which we get lot of errors. So let me also touch upon one more way we concatenate strings or like print strings. Let's the same way like what we did here, right? So here we have used this, converted it into string and then copied these two. So instead there is like other way to do it. If you want to get like 100 Python, so what we can do is inside a string d space and a, and you have to put like f in before, so which means a format string. So let's see, still we got it like so. What it would do is this f, if you put, so whatever inside the bracket, so it would take that variable here and show you here. And similarly it doesn't need to be, you don't have to convert again back into string or like integer or something. So it would automatically take care of this, like it would convert into string and then show it here. And there is also alternative convention of this format string. This way you don't have to specify this f before. There you can keep like 0 1 dot format d comma a. So this is one more way where like 0 takes the first like this option 0th position, and 1 takes the 1 position of this, like whatever you give here, right, the set of words. So it would take that way. So and again we got the same output. Come quite handy, like I mean, instead of again converting using the string and then doing, so instead of this, so this is much better way to use it. Let's go and talk about like few arithmetic operations now. So let's again take like some a is like 10, b is 20. If you want to add these, just like a plus b would add it. So previously it has combined it here, like here in case if it is joining here. So but in this case what it does is it just adds, like because it is integer. So the same tricky thing, let me tell you this. So here I am giving a and b inside quotations. So what would be the output from this? 1020. So what it happened is it has, because this is an integer, this is a string because we gave it in quotes, right? So doesn't matter if inside the string it is like numbers or even I mean alphabetical letters. So it wouldn't read, like whatever we gave it inside quotes, it would be treated as a string. So what it does is it just joins them. That is a difference between these two. Okay. So the next thing, a minus b, let's do a minus b. So you saw like this works again pretty decently, like -1. So let me do here as well, like what we get like here in -1. Okay. Again error. So what it says, between unsupported type error again. It means the type of the inputs, like what we gave here is an error. Unsupported operands type for minus, for this operation, minus operation, you are giving like string and string. So and strings are not the way to go with, like with minus you have to give integers. So you can also search this and then check for the same if you want. Yeah, we get it like mostly. So like we can see some program here, and in this program we they are using division of these two, and that division of these two variables, division, and these two variables are actually strings. So that is why they got this error. So for that reason what they do is they convert, just like how we do str of, right, like previously for we have converted this integer to string by using str. Same way we can convert string into integer by using int. So let's do that. Okay, so this worked because this we converted it into integer and this we converted into integer, but this converting into integer is again little tricky here. So let's say your string is like this, so Python 100, okay, and B is programming. So will this work? Someone, let's see what error again type this time. Yeah, nice, we got a different type of error here. It is value error. So it's saying same thing like in the integer this line we can't convert the literal for literal is indirectly the string, invalid literal for integer with base 10. So what it does is, so integer of like if you give some string, it would convert the values in the base 10 format, which is like numerical format what we use. So the value what it gives inside, like that can't be converted. So that is an issue here. So now because Python, if in Python like what is a value we can't get, right? So that is the reason. So but let's say even if it is like Python 100, so that is still acceptable. I mean, like although you get this error, I mean, just like I'm telling, so we can give a string in the combination of alphabets and numericals, that will still hold. So anyway, this error doesn't solve because it only needs numericals within the quotations, only then it would work. Okay, so this is about this part. And similarly, like we have other operations like multiplication and division. This is, let me do all in like one single shot because these are all straightforward. Multiplication, I'm going to print star b, that would give multiplication value. And division here, so there is this quotient and remainder things, right? So let me give some larger number just for our convenience, so that it is not exactly divisible and we get something in remainder. 3000, so which is multiplication, and division we got it in decimal format, and then coefficient is I mean, if you use double slash, we would get only the integer part of it, and then remainder is like if you divide it, and you'd be getting a remainder of 10 here. Okay. So and you see, like I'm using print instead of like just directly giving here, because if you want multiple lines, unless you use print, it won't show. It will only show the last line, like if you don't put print. So that is why here, as I want to show multiple lines here, so I'm using print statements. We have other operations like exponent and square root and things. So let me do one of them quickly. Let me power means a power b, right? 2 power 3, like that. So these are quite large values. Still it would hold, like because we have very good computation, but just for our understanding, so let me write like this way. And power is like means 10 power 2. So would it come or not? Let's see. So for that we have to use double star. It would give like 10 square, which is 100. Similarly, if you want to compute square root, right? So for these there are like direct symbols available, but for square root we don't have any of those in our keyboard. So thing is like if you want to do some operations, these mathematical operations, we have to use one of the library, so which is called math. So we have to import that library for using it. Import math. So just like how we have it in like programming language like hash include std.h, similarly if you want to import some package or some other file, so we have to use this import option. So import space and the library name. So here it is like math is a library which I am going to use. So this is available by default with all the Python installations. You can use like m.sqrt of a comma b. Wow. Oh, we got an error. Surprising. So yeah, square root is only of one thing, right? I mean, just like 10 we have a square root, not like multiple. So this is type error saying that sqrt takes only one arguments but two are given. So here in this sqrt function, only one argument would be taken, but we gave two. So that is an error. So let's see. Now I have removed b. We got it. Square root is like 3.1.6. Similarly, there are various other operations like exponent, logarithm. So just like .exp would actually give the exponent, and similarly math.log would give like value here. It is to the power e actually, so that's why we got 10, not to the base 10. So that's how like we can use various math operations. So but we don't have to remember anything. In case if you want to know like what this math library does, so there would be documentation available like math Python documentation. So if you just search there, you would be getting this particular web page, so which is this docs.python.com library. So this would contain a documentation of every library, so you don't have to remember anything. So you can just like google it and then do it. That would be a better way to do it. So even factorial, we have floor, these are like rounding of numbers we can do, and similarly there are many others.